morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, of course. Now, I'm Jenny, as you know. Now, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button right down there in the corner in order to get content and videos and so on. Now, we are moving into solstice season. We have the new moon in Cancer coming up. This is another powerful week. I always say powerful weeks, right? Because every day is literally a new beginning to start something new. You can make change at any given second. You're ready to do that, right? So it doesn't have to be on a new moon, full moon at a certain time. However, when you work with these energies, the energies will work back with you. So I'm going to talk about what's coming on between the 20th and 27th of June. Like we are like just a stone's throw away from July. Like how crazy is that? So for all of those people who follow me on my photography account, this is one of the photos. You can see more of this in videos and so on. Where I was and where I was on assignments and also working and relaxing all at the same time. So it's all about balance. It's all about working through your heart's passion. Yeah, but those are different fears. So this solstice energy right now, we're also in Cancer season. You know what I mean? Right? Happy birthday to my Cancerians, as I say. We're moving into all kinds of energies. So it depends where you are. Like this solstice, there's a lot of initiations going on during solstice, right? It depends if you're winter or if you're summer, like I'm moving into summer, right? Where I was, it was so beautiful. And I met some extraordinary people there, like really amazing new friends, just going on for a walk and people, they're like, how do you meet people? I'm like, I just go on a walk. I was literally, just to give you an example, this is when you leave your heart open and spirit, I'm open to new opportunities. And that's for my highest calling and highest purpose, as I always say. I was literally going for a walk and I haven't, I didn't want, I'm like, oh my gosh, this woman's gonna think I'm following her, which I wasn't. I had my camera on, I had my phone with me, right? That's all I had. And she was walking with her little dog and stuff, and then she starts talking to me and she goes, oh, are you going down that way? And I'm like, I'm just kind of, checking out the area. And she goes, well, there's a winery down there. And I'm like, what? She goes, come on, let's go for coffee or something. I'm like, actually, I said, no, I don't have my wallet on me. I just have my camera and my phone. Right. She goes, let me buy you a cup of coffee or let me buy you a drink. And I'm like, no, no. She goes, yes, I insist. So, anyways, we start talking and we get down to this place, which was like, 5-minute walk, which I didn't know. She actually gives me money. She goes, you go in there and you buy yourself something. I'm like, no, no, I'll grab a water. She goes, no, I insist. And I'm like, okay, I'll just get a water. She goes, no, you have to grab something to eat. You have, I'm like, I don't. So anyways, so I'm like, okay. So I went in there, grabbed myself a little coffee and a little scone. And I come out and she's talking to some other people. And then she introduces me to these two other people. So I've met some a lot, like friends and then she leaves and so on. And then I meet other people and oh my gosh, like and there are people that I'm like, wow, thank you for all this information. Because I had certain questions and such like that, like where I was, and oh, wow. So when you leave your heart open and you're being authentic and you're doing things right from your heart's intentions and so on, you will be surprised what doors open up for you that are in alignment with your soul. So this solstice energy that's going on right now, it gives you more opportunities. Like you're going to be more intuitive. Some people do a lot of initiations and so on, right? It go on by what feels right for you. The 20th of June, like I'm like, oh my God, actually I'm starting something brand new on the 20th of June. And I'm like what I'm starting on the 20th of June is wow. I can't go on about it, but it's taking me towards like another future destiny and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it was that date. However, this is the time to utilize this and take advantage of this. Really listen to where your passions are. You know, it's like when you are like, gosh, what changes do I want to make? Do it now. Really pay attention to what let go of, but I'm scared, I'm fears. You know, when you face your fears, we all have, you know, we all can get scared and have fears. That's normal. We're all humans. But when you face these fears, I had to face a few fears when I was away, but I'm like, you know what? I need to change things. So poof, just jump right in there and oh my goodness, oh my God. So truly grateful. So incredibly grateful. Even the owner of the condo that I was staying in right here on the beach, she left me a nice bottle of wine. And I'm like, wow, thank you. I wasn't expecting that. You know, little gifts come in and so on. I said, let me do this for you. Let me do that for you. What? Really? It's amazing. You know, but you have to be authentic. You know, there's so many other different energies out there, but you could track who you are, all of these things. So whenever something's off or it's not in alignment, really say, okay, what have I done? How did I track this or whatever it is? And really look at this because you will be really surprised and really pay attention to what direction you're getting pulled towards this week. Like really what direction? You know, it's like, wow, I'd really like to do this or that. Like even me, even as soon as I got back, believe me, I had so many signs that made a lot of different confirmations for me, you know, and, you know, I started taking action on it right away, believe me. Another story. However, this is why it's really, really, really important. Really pay attention. You might find that, wow, I really need to get things more organized right now. I need to really declutter my place or my car or my office or whatever like that. I'm just going to give stuff away. I actually gave more stuff away this morning. I gave away one of my bookshelves. I gave away like a ton of books again, like just certain things, right? You're going to find that maybe I'm going to throw it out. Maybe I want to redecorate. Really pay attention and especially listen to that little voice inside where your dreams are, what you want to do. And don't push anything or force, you know, because now I'm looking at something different. Now I'm doing a lot more research on what I'm working on. And I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm going to want to be moving towards or changing or whatever. So I'm going to start my research. I started writing different things down. Okay, check into this, check into that, look into this. How do I do this? How do I do that? All of those things. Because we are moving closer to Mercury retrograde as well, you guys. So that's another reason why I went away. I only had this 1 week to go away, and that's when I went away for many reasons. So when you're having like electrical issues, whenever you're like, oh my God, this is out of whack. Like I literally had to go, okay, I had to run to the office storage supply this morning. I'm like, oh my God, I got to replace that. Oh, all my expenses are ready. Oh my God. But you have to do certain things. Don't let it sit because Mercury retrograde brings in technical electronical issues. So if you're having issues right now with electronics or technical, really pay attention to it right now. You know, like I literally had to get a new phone like 2 days before I left. And I'm like, oh my God, like I had to get a new phone. You know, I'm like, if you don't get a new phone, the last thing you're going to want is when you're away, being somewhere in an area and all of these things you don't know, you haven't really been before. You need to have a good phone. So I'm like, okay, surrender it. So really pay attention to this right now, especially with what is not working. What is not working as far as everything, relationships, jobs, where you're living, like so many different things. And start to book appointments right now that you want to book. Like, as I always said, you know, there's certain times where I'm like, you know what? This is the time when I have to book certain appointments because I don't want to have to deal with this. So I will purposely pick certain months or times that I'm going to book all these appointments. Like I just literally did this again because Mercury retrograde can throw messages all over the place, lost messages and so on and so on. You know, I had to go right back out to my surgeon the next morning when I just arrived back, right? Go back not knowing what to expect. He goes, you're okay. Actually, I'm going to cancel that appointment that we had booked for you in September. But, you know, come back February. And I'm like, but I was away. And it goes, no, you're fine. And I'm like, oh, I was so grateful. I was so completely grateful. So truly grateful. So you are going to be more focused on health again this week as well. Like don't let this slip. You know, now that I've got the clear, let's say, I can now start making more health changes and stuff like that for myself. However, we can have roadblocks where we're like, oh my God, now this is happening. You have to deal with your priorities always, 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 right? So you could find this week you're setting new health regimens, you're setting a diet, you're setting a workout, you're setting like all of those things. Take advantage right now of this energy with the solstice because we have that new moon on the 25th in Cancer. So new moons are sensitive. You get more sensitive, especially this one. It's watery, Cancer energy. Really pay attention to your pets. You know, new moons is a higher time for your pets to pass on and people and so on and so on. Really pay attention to that. Expect the unexpected in a way, you know, because you'll be more focused on home and family and security and such like that. You could find you more creative, you know, have more inspiration and so on. It depends. If you've been resolving issues, clearing things, then the moon will work with you more. So what you've been avoiding, you'd be like, oh my God, why is this happening now? Like really pay attention to, boy, I should have done that before, right? I get it. We all do things. That's why this morning I'm like, you know what, I got to go to the office supply store. I got to grab this because I want to deal with this right now. I don't want my computer and that to crash during Mercury retrograde, just certain things, right? So really, really pay attention. You're going to find that you're going to start dreaming bigger, bigger. Like, what do you guys truly want? New moons, set your intentions, manifest, add on to your vision boards. You know, don't worry about how and when things are going to happen. You can always book a reading with me and I can give you a lot more specific details and so on and so on. When I was doing my live readings, I hold back by 90% because there's so much more involved whenever I'm doing a live read that I hold back on purpose, right? I don't want to embarrass somebody. I don't want to cause somebody issues and so on. So there's only certain things I say on purpose, right? So this is the time to take charge of situations that you truly, truly, truly want to change. New moons, new beginnings, right? New beginnings at any time. Put your crystals outside, let the moon energy come in, you know, and really pay attention to what's out of balance. It will be showing what's not working, like what is out of balance, what is like out of kilt, right? Really pay attention. It's like, oh my God, I have to deal with this, or I have to deal with that. Deal with it. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it, right? You'll regret it. So you're going to be a lot more intuitive and so on, as I mentioned, and your sleep could be a little bit off. You know, we have those solar flares and solar storms and all of these things which spark off all kinds of energies and so on, right? And you're going to want to find that I don't want to be around drama. The 20th, 21st during the solstice. Happy birthday. You know, Cancerians, again, I'm going to say that to my Cancerian friends. You know, Cancer's very, you know, home environment, taking care of a lot of different people and so on and so on, right? As we're moving into different energies, you're going to find that you're going to be a little bit more compassionate towards other people and their situations and also yourself. Don't have, God, I wish I would have done this and this and this and this and that. Don't do that. New beginnings, as I said, can happen at any given time. You could be a lot more protective towards your friends and family and pets and so on, right? You know, it's like with my animals. I'm always protective with my animals. It's like, you want to hurt my animal, I'm the worst person to mess with, right? So you're going to be more protective. You could have your guards up a little bit more too, right? Like protecting yourself, setting boundaries, all of that. Your emotions are going to be getting triggered a little bit more. You know, as we get closer to that new moon in solstice combined, right? You could find that you could have like more reunions with people. If you are hearing, oh, you know, I should reach out to this person for some reason, or oh, wow, I'm going to give my person a call, or geez, I haven't talked to, this person or that person for quite some time. I'm just gonna, how's it going? And so on and so on. You're gonna have more love in your heart, like unconditional love and everything like that. Right? You really will. So if you're a Cancer, your sign is a Cancer on the 21st, you're gonna find that you're gonna want to have more personal identity with yourself. This is who I am, in family and in home. This is who I am, I'm your mother, or I'm your daughter, or I'm your wife, or I'm your husband, or all of these things, right? You could be finding that, I just got to stay more at home. I'm just going to work in the garden right now, or, all of these different things. You're going to be wanting a little bit more homebody during that time. Where if you're a Capricorn, you very well could be seeing achievements, work acknowledgments, work recognition, achievements from hard work well done, acknowledging with it. Whenever we're working hard towards something, sometimes we don't see the results right away because things take time, of course, right? If you want to change your hair color, well, that can be pretty instant. Go to your hairdresser. However, you want to make long-term changes, it takes time. So it takes time to build up. Just keep going. Don't give up. Keep working towards your goals and so on. Where if you're more Aries and Libra, you're really going to want to connect to more emotional truths about relationships. Who's your soul tribes? Who do you really feel a connection with? Who do you feel out of alignment with? So you're going to be reviewing that more and more and more and more. And you could get triggered as we move into the 22nd and 23rd. You're going to find that you're going to be working on more of your inner child wounds. You're going to be healing a lot more. You could have a lot more memory sneaking up. Like, wow, why did I think of that? Or you could start getting emotional, or you could start looking at different photos, some people put photos up around their home of family or friends or their pets, and you could start getting emotional. I started getting emotional the other day when I have pictures of all my animals actually in my bedroom wall of my wolfhound and my rescue puppies and Bella and just all of these. And I started getting really emotional over it, because it's when there's real love, it hurts and there's pain, when somebody passes on or just different times, right? So you can find you're a little bit more emotional over different things and just release it. Don't like suppress your emotions. This is why God gave us tears so we can release. And you're going to find that you very well could start confronting situations even more. It's like, you know what? I got to confront my boss, or I got to confront my person, or I have to confront, like, well, whoever it is. So you're going to have more strength to confront certain situations more head on, to resolve situations. And you might be like, you know what? I got to set more boundaries right now. I have to set more boundaries because I really have to think of what I want. Or maybe I want more of a day for me, because your soul is really going to be pushing you to make changes. You want to move forward to your dreams. Pay attention, as I mentioned, to where you're getting pulled towards. Maybe some of you are going to move. Maybe some of you are going to be like, you know what, I'm going to start decluttering, I'm going to move. Maybe some of you are going to be like, yeah, we really want to travel here. We really want to go to Italy. Like whatever it is. So you're going to find that you're really going to start to want to focus more on these long-term dreams and long-term goals and so on and so on. So just start writing it down. As that it takes time, of course, to have things coming together, and that's why it's like this is your long-term goals. As I've said, universal 9-year. We're completing cycles. We're completing things. Endings. Endings can be with anything that you have ended. Relationships, jobs, like whatever it is, certain cycles. And really pay attention to your habits and old behaviors this week, because you're going to get that wake up call. Like even last week, you could have got that, wow, I can really see my dreams coming true, or I'm working more towards my dreams more and more and more, because you're going to see that coming even more to fruition in February 2026. You're going to see that happening. Go for it, work towards your dreams and so on. Because on the 26th and the 27th, as we get closer to the end of the week, you're going to start expressing yourself. Like Madonna did that song, What, Express Yourself? You're going to want to stay away from drama. You're going to be like, you know what? I can't be around that energy. I can't be around that negative energy. I'm going to stay more focused in the positive things. I'm going to stay more focused on that. I just got to focus more on me. So you're going to be more confident. I'm more confident now that I can make this change, that I can make this happen. More confident with whatever it is. You could be feeling that if you have been working on things and resolving issues and so on and so on. You're going to be a lot more bold, right? Bold with communicating. Again, just be mindful whenever you're going to have a talk with somebody. Don't and that can happen. That can happen. We all have our own journey. There's, a lot of people that are healing. There's a lot of people that have been through a lot. Like we all have been through a lot. Oh, even where I was, I never watched the news. And then I found out when I was flying back here, we had that G7 summit going on here with all of these so-called political leaders. Don't even get me going on that here. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm flying right back into this crap. Oh my God. And I would never have known that if somebody didn't mention it to me. And I'm like, oh, are you serious? But anyways, what can you do about it? It's just like, let it go, let it go. So you might even have more family gatherings by the end of this week too. Or you could be like, let's have a reunion. Let's have a big barbecue or a picnic or a dinner or, whatever it is. So you could be connected more with that. Or you could be like, oh, hell no, I'm staying away from family. Don't even get me going on that. I need my inner peace. You could be having that, oh, I don't want to get involved with that drama. I don't even want to get involved with this. You're going to be speaking your truth more. You very well, how I said there's some confrontations happening this week. You might be confronting more family situations, by the way. So, but it's like just speak from your heart, your truth, always. When you're speaking from your heart, your truth with the right intention, that's all that matters. All that matters. You can feel it when somebody is not being honest with you. We all have that intuition. So we're like, something's just not feeling right here. Pay attention to that. Like, pay attention to that. You can always book a reading with me, as I'm saying. I can give you a lot more clarity as it is. So now on the 26th, 27th, if you're a Leo, you could be finding more of a rebirth, more of a transformation. You're going to be like, I'm feeling a lot more creative. I can finally work on my creative proper projects, let's say, that you want to do. New beginnings. What direction do you want to move into? More confident about, situations and that, right? Where if you're Aquarius, you could be feeling more challenged and confronted. You could be getting confronted like, why are you taking ownership of that? That's not you. You're copying this person. You're copying their work. Like I keep hearing this with Aquarius, right? When you're not being yourself, things will not go your way. So you might have more confrontations. I'm just saying, you just got to be real, you guys. You got to be real. Don't be somebody who you're not. It's not. It'll backfire on you big time, right? Where if you're Taurus or Scorpio, you could be feeling a lot more compassion, a lot more compassionate and passionate. This journey you've been on, you're going to be like, I'm now ready. I'm now like more compassionate towards what's happening. Maybe you're going to be more compassionate towards your person. Maybe you're going to be like, I'm going to reach out to my person and show them a little bit of love. Where if you're Gemini and Virgo, you can be a lot more playful. You can be a lot more playful with your communication. Like I always have like a sixth sense of humor. Like I get that from my dad. So I get really twisted whenever I'm sitting back and so on and so on. So I'm a real chatter with the right people. You might find that you could be a lot more passionate as well during this time, a lot more passionate or so. You're communicating more passionately from your heart. You're having fun. You could be joking around. You could be like, I'm going to be a little bit more flirty as well. Have fun. You know what I mean? Like life is just can be really serious and full of not so good things. And it really comes down to how do I go about it? How am I seeing things? Rewrite your story. You could rewrite your story at any time. To rewrite your goals, your dreams, no matter what it is at any time. Like I have like, a vision board, as I've always said, and I crossed off certain things that I've done already, you know, like sometimes people put a deadline on goals, which is perfectly fine. I want to do this by this or that. Great. That's perfect. Right. And some people are like, you know what, this is what I want and all of these things. I'm not as worried as much when this happens or when that happens. Let worry go. And there's certain goals that I never tell anybody about ever. I just do it. Right. People are like, oh my God, like it's like where I was going. And I said nothing. I just said I'm going away to a couple of people nobody knew. And all of a sudden I started putting photography up and people are like, oh my God, where are you? Like, you know, I just kind of go with the flow. Sometimes if you mention things, there are people out there that are not happy for you. There are people out there that get really insecure or jealous, which is, I don't understand that because should you not be happy for someone? I always support people no matter what they're doing. When I had my television show, I would have people on and really boost them. I would boost their business. I would say, so what are you doing for your work? I would show, the audience and the viewers who they are. This is where you can reach them. This is their website and so on. And so really help boost people. Should we not be helping each other rather than putting people down? So, but that's just me. That's just me. So I keep quiet about a lot of things. And I just put photos up or whatever. People are like, oh my God, you're where? Right? So actually had somebody very special make a comment about this photo. And I'm like, oh my God, he's one of my mentors, huge mentor. And he said something really nice about this photo. Right. And I'm like, wow, thank you. Like, oh, thank you. That's really, really, wow, really touched my heart. Very grateful. Um, but anyways, let's pull a couple of cards. Now, I don't use cards when I'm with a client because I'm clairvoyant, psychic medium. I do animal communication and meditations and all that kind of stuff. But here, of course, I don't, right? Because this is YouTube. So I do more collective energy. So let's talk to Colette Baron Reed, the Enchanted Map. Maybe some of you are traveling during the summer or the winter season, depends where you are. What is the message from the spirit world for you? Some of you will connect with the cards, some of you won't. Not everybody will, of course, right? So now let's take a look at what message is coming through. And the card that fell through is wide open. The world is yours to explore. You can create what you want. It's wide open. Yeah, but I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't do this and I can't. When you set yourself a negative mindset that you can't do something, you won't. You won't. How can I do this when this is involved? You can work yourself around it. There's certain things, we have no control over, of course, right? However, you are the controller of your own life. You only have controller over you and your decisions, nothing else. I had somebody tell me, you can't do what you're doing. You can't go away and do this and that. I just did. It was amazing. New doors open for me. Met amazing people. Saw a lot, observed a lot. So pay attention. This is wide open. The door is wide open for you. We have the solstice. We have the new moon. Set goals, you guys. Set your dreams, for goodness sakes. Work towards it. Let's have a little chat with the animals. I'm an animal communicator. I talk to your animals that have passed on, and I talk to your animals who are here present. So, Animal Guides by Radley Valentine. There we go. have a little chat with the animals, shall we? I only picked a couple of decks really because I was only getting pulled towards a couple of decks. Well, this is a time for great change, you guys, for this week, right? This is a great time for you. You work with these energies. So what's the message from our animal kingdom from the 20th to the 27th of June? It fell down here. The Eight of Water. Look at the kangaroo. There's two kangaroos, by the way. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. What did I just say? What did I just literally say? Who you surround yourself with, you become. So this is why it's like certain things that I work on. I never tell anybody what I'm doing because it's so easy for somebody to say a negative comment, which can stop you. I don't allow anybody to stop me. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I mean, that's just me, right? Trust that source will lift you to the new heights and give you greater self-confidence if you prefer your freedom. Yes. Yes, absolutely. There you go. Wow. 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 That's so cool. So you guys, I'm gonna pull another card here, but if you like my video, it really helps. Make some comments and so on and so on. So we are gonna talk to Messages of Life by Mario Duguay. What is the message from the universe? What is the message from the universe for the 20th to the 27th of June? These cards are very different. Like, look at them, right? I gave away like so many of my tarot decks. Like, oh my God, like just tons of them. I'm always downsizing. I'm always giving stuff away. Always, always. All of a sudden, I'll get this inspiration idea, and I'm like, I don't really need that. Give it away. So yeah, my bookshelf. I have two bookshelves, and I gave one away. So out came and it was somebody in the building I live in. So I'm like, I'll bring that up to you. I got a dolly, and I did that this. There you go. Delivered. What I owe you? Nothing. Enjoy it. All right. So let's get a message. Let's get a message from the spirit world. There we go. I'm feeling this one. Truth. Yes. Always speak your truth. My goodness. Today I discovered my greatest truth is within me. It is a divine force that whispers from my inner self. I listen to this voice closely, putting aside my controlling mind. In this way, I find all the answers I'm looking for. I am now in harmony with myself, and I welcome the love of God, which is the truth that will guide me towards my fullest, most shining radiance. Look at that. Speak your truth. And show kindness to the world. We're all going through so much. We are. It's all about kindness and showing love towards humanity. There's good people and there's not so good people out there. You know, it's important to surround yourself with positive people that support you unconditionally. Because if you surround yourself with a lot of negative people, what happens? You become who you surround yourself with. So be very, very careful. Fear is something that you choose to stay in. You can change it at any time. Face your fears. I just got to tell you something. When I had to rent a vehicle, I flew into my location and I had to rent a car. Didn't know anything. So, and then I'm like, oh my God, like, how do I set this GPS? So anyways, one of the guys, really nice man, helped me set it up very calmly. And I'm like, oh, thank you. So I was going on. And then when I was coming back, right, like when I had to be at the airport early when I was flying back. And oh my God, I got stuck right in traffic. And people are like tailgating me, like, oh my God. I'm like, are you serious? Really? I was going the speed limit. And I'm like, oh my God. So I kept missing my turnoffs. There's so many roundabouts out there. And I'm like, oh my God. So anyways, I finally make it to the car rental place. And I pull in the wrong place. And the lady goes, you're blocking up the entire. I'm like, oh my God. So then I drop off the car. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, it was insane. So then I get into the airport and I was in wine country. Like, I'm not a drinker. I do like a glass of wine here and there, right? However, being in wine country, that kind of changed a little bit. So I'm walking around the airport and I'm there early. I always like to get there early. And I walk into the wine store at the airport and I'm like, oh my God, they have that bottle of wine that, oh my, it was just amazing that I actually bought when I was there, like at the wine store or at the wine vineyards. Oh, and I'm like, I can't because so anyways, the lady behind the counter, we wrapped up the bottle of wine, long story short, and she goes, I have never in all my years being here ever wrapped up a bottle of wine like that. And I'm like, you haven't met Jeni before. Right? It's just insane, but bubble wrapped and everything. I'm like, this is going in my purse. I'm on my flight. I can't bang that bottle and have wine all over the place. Right? Like, come on. But you had to be there. It was funnier when you were there. It's a long story what happened, but it was so much fun. So much fun. So, anyways, now, how many of you guys have subscribed to my channel? If you want to book a reading with me, soulworkwithjeni.com. I give a lot of details, very blunt, and so on and so on and so on. Please like my channel, and I will catch you all next time.